Hi everybody, I'm Michelle Carre and welcome to Your Delicious Life, where each week we take a look at life from a different perspective and try to learn something new or get reminded of something that we already knew. This week's episode is called Define Your Destination. These past couple of weeks, I have been talking to you about calendars and to-do lists and how to manage them, how to maximize them to really live the life that you want to live. But if we don't know what it is we're ultimately trying to do, then what do we need all these systems for? What do we need to be tracking in our calendars? We have to know the goals that we're working toward or the life that we're working toward in order for these systems to really make sense and be useful for us. And that's what today's episode is all about. When I do this with clients or in workshops, we talk about living the life you envision. Right? So I get people to close their eyes and think about what it is they truly want. And I think it's a really visceral experience in the sense that we have to imagine how things will feel, how things will look, maybe even smell, and feel tactically as well. So I really encourage you to take that time to sit with your eyes closed and kind of visualize what it is that you really want in each of those areas. Now, the other thing that people often do or think about when this kind of conversation comes up is vision boards. And if that works for you, then do a vision board because that's a great way to kind of capture what it is you want in one place to look at. So those work great. If you're not a cut and paster kind of person, you can also do this on Pinterest. I've done this before where I've created a private board and I just will search things that I am working toward or goals that I have or maybe places I want to visit, and I add them to that board so it becomes a virtual vision board, which is kind of nice as well. But you guys know that I'm all about writing things down and putting pen to paper. So even if you do a vision board virtually or in real life, I still think there's a lot of value in sitting down and writing out a couple of sentences or maybe a paragraph to really capture how you envision your life in that particular area. Once you've created a vision, now one of two things is going to happen. Either we need to set a goal to get you to that vision, or we need to start scheduling repeating activities that will help you to live that life that you envision. So let's talk about the goals first. Now with goals, we tend to lean toward writing the big goal down. And that's good, but what I want you to do is really identify a goal that you can accomplish in the next 90 days. Now it might be a push to accomplish that goal, and that's not a bad thing either, but you want to not create something that's really a 5-year goal and write it down as if you're going to do it in the next 90 days, because that's not realistic. So you want to have something that is still achievable, even if you have to push yourself. You could do it. So let's take, for example, weight loss. This is often a hot topic when it comes to the new year. So if you want to lose 50 pounds in the next year, maybe your goal for the first, 12 weeks of the year is to try and lose 20 to 25 pounds. So 25 pounds is probably achievable. Maybe you write 20 pounds because you know that it's a bit of a challenge for you, or maybe you write 30 pounds because you know your body and you know that you'll probably be able to drop a little bit of weight more quickly. Either way, setting a goal of a smaller amount in the beginning is better than saying, I want to lose 50 pounds. Well, let's just focus on what we're going to achieve in the next 90 days. So write down the goals for what you want to achieve that are ultimately going to get you to that life that you want. Now, I say weight loss and, certain poundage to lose because when people think about their health and wellness, that's usually what comes up. But I will challenge you on this and say, what is your definition of success when it comes to your weight loss? People often will just throw out a number that they want to lose a certain amount of weight, but maybe a better tactic is to say, I want to be able to complete a yoga class without having to stop. Or I want to increase my flexibility to be able to reach my ankles instead of just below my knee. Or I want to be able to lift, 100 pounds and maybe currently you're lifting 50 or something like that. So when we put out these goals, you really want to gear down to that definition of success and the statement of intent that you've written, because if your intent is to be healthy and strong, or if your intent is to be flexible and agile, those have different goals and may cause you to take different action. So you want to make sure that the goals you set are in alignment with how you've defined success and that statement of intent that you've written for that particular area of your life. The other piece of this is the repeating tasks. So, for example, you might have a statement of intent that says for spirituality that I meditate regularly, or I have a priming practice every single day, a la Tony Robbins, or something of that nature, something that you're going to repeat on a regular basis. Well, you could set a goal that says, I'm going to do this thing this often, but when have you accomplished it? When you did the task every day for 1 week? When you did it every day for 2 weeks? For a year? That's a bit trickier. So that's where I think it kind of lives more in the side of repeating tasks. So if you're looking at your statement of intent for a particular area of life and you see that there's a practice that you want to be doing every day or every week, schedule that. Instead of writing a goal, schedule in your planner or in your online calendar, however you want to do it. Maybe you even make a daily to-do reminder, whatever works best for you, but schedule it so you're taking action to do that activity regularly. And the idea with scheduling it or writing it down is that we can see our progress. So maybe in the beginning, it's not quite every day. Maybe it's twice a week. But then maybe you notice you're starting to regularly do it 3 times or 4 times a week. And maybe you get to 5 or 6 and you had said, you know what, my goal was to do it every single day, but 5, 6 days a week feels really good to me. So maybe the next time you review that statement of intent, you realize, you know what, when it comes to my spirituality, just having a practice as far as meditation or priming that I do more days than not, or at least 5 days a week, maybe that's the new statement of intent because you realize that that's what works best for you. So part of all of this too is understanding that our statements of intent change. What we want out of a particular area of our life and how we envision that particular area of our life will change. I often use the example of kids in my workshops where I'll say how, when we have really little babies, our goal is to just get them to sleep through the night, right? But then when they get older, I'm sure the goal becomes more to get them to come home at night, right? So your statement of intent is going to change depending on where you are in life, what season you're in, what's happening in your life. Maybe you're in a relationship, maybe you're not. That's obviously going to change your relationship goals and what you want there. There's so many factors that can impact that. But the point is to make sure we have a definition of success for right now for each area of our life and to accept that it will change, but to know what we're working toward today and taking action toward that today. I believe that people are happier and more productive when they're working toward a goal or a vision. And so when we take the time to define what that destination is, it gives us a sense of purpose. So I really, really, really recommend that you take some time to think about what you want in each area of your life and define what success is in those areas, write a statement of intent, and then identify goals or repeating tasks for each area of life. And you may have more in some areas than others, and you may have none in other areas. But the point is to just give yourself that gift of time to really sit back and reflect. Because if we don't know where we're going, all of this planning that we're doing is kind of a waste. We want to be planning and moving toward something specific. So take some time. I know it's a busy time of year, but You're so important, and your life is your life. You only get one of these that we're aware of, or at least you only get one chance at this particular life. So you want to make the best of it, and giving yourself a couple of hours to just sit down and think about what you want is such an incredible gift. I know it's something I have scheduled for my calendar this week, and I'm going to make that happen. So I really want to encourage you to do the exact same thing. Thank you guys for watching. Can't wait to see you next week for our special Christmas episode. Take care, everyone. Have a great week.